Hey guys, welcome back to another Tech Live Monday night show. I am your host, Eric. Good to have you guys here. How is your week shaping up? Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic start to your week. We've got Peter here, Jim's here, Tony's here, and some others were here before. Good to see you guys. I'm glad you can make it tonight. As the title implies, this will likely be the last Tech Live broadcast for the remainder of the summer. I usually put them on hold for the summertime, and to be totally honest, guys, we're going to have to revisit the format and what we do in the fall. We'll see how that goes. We'll play that one a little bit by ear. Scotty says we're 1080. Zach's here. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple of things set up. We'll go right ahead and get started in the show. David is here too. Hey, David. Good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by. Awesome stuff. We got the gang is all here. What do we got? As usual, viewer comments throughout, just throw them in the chat. I try my best to keep up, and I'll try extra hard tonight. We'll do some tech news. We'll do some viewer projects. A bunch of stuff from the community at Hackers, Makers, Inventors, you name it, everything goes here. A few things from the shop, a little bit of a sneak peek, and that will get us right into the show. David said 5x5, not a lot of resolution. PX at America asked, did I try the boat in the tub yet? In fact, I tried it in the harbor. We'll cover it a little bit later on, but indeed, I have shot the footage for the RC boat review. I shot it on Saturday morning. If you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you've probably seen some of the pictures, and it was a lot of fun. It was pretty good stuff, so we'll see how it works out. I'll leave it to the video to explain what happened. I've got a few things to figure out. Some tech news tonight. Tons and tons of tech news this week. A crazy week in the tech world. Started off with a bunch of hacker news. So Ghost, the hacker, has been hard at work lately, and supposedly these are a lot of ISIS accounts. It's debatable whether they are or not, but regardless, the accounts got taken over by Ghost and replaced most of the profile images and header images with I'm gay and I'm proud in support of the Orlando incidents. I thought it was pretty cool and worth sharing. It's kind of harmless in a roundabout way, regardless, unless these are valid accounts. That could kind of suck. Russian hackers went after the DNC to get to Trump, and you can find this on the Newsy channel. Some interesting coverage of it. Basically, the information that was gleaned was public domain anyway, but we'll see. Trump, he's on the hot seat for a lot of things, and definitely a target in many ways. Tom is here and Charles is here. Hey guys. Engadget. I had to talk on this because I have some personal opinions. So you can find this on the Engadget site. This was news today. Acer now admitting to up to 34,000 customer credit cards were compromised on their site. This is not news. This happens all too often, and I'll throw my 2 cents in here. Stop dealing with sites who store credit card information directly on the site. It sounds funny to say, but only deal with online merchants such as PayPal. If a company isn't using PayPal, don't give them their credit card. Just don't. It's the only way to stop this madness, because PayPal to date, as far as I know, and the research I did, not once has their database been compromised. Not once. A lot of malware attacks and getting people phishing links and stuff like that. But all these companies that have had all this databases leaked, they just don't put enough effort into security. It's bloody ridiculous. Acer, supposed to be industry leader, susceptible like the rest of them to database attacks. End result, I say don't deal with them. If they're not taking someone secure like PayPal, doing the legwork up front and doing the legwork for security, just don't deal with them. That's my 2 cents on that. Eric is here. Cheers, Eric. Awesome stuff in the space world this week. totally cool stuff. So the Cygnus left the ISS last week. I believe it was Tuesday. It might have been Wednesday. The Cygnus was scheduled to go into the atmosphere and burn up with many tons of garbage from the ISS. But on board, they had a really cool experiment for basically lit a fire on the Cygnus and recorded the data. And you can find this coverage on NASA Johnson, and they did do some more coverage on the experiment itself, which was really neat. This is really hard to do. You can't do it on the ISS, or you risk the crew and the space station. So interesting to see this kind of experimentation going on. Somebody must be spamming. Nightbot didn't like it. Watch your capital usages and stuff, guys. SpaceX rocket experiences rapid unscheduled disassembly, in the words of Elon Musk. So SpaceX did it again. Another successful payload delivery to orbit. Very cool. You can find this coverage on the Newsy channel, but the main coverage is actually on the SpaceX channel itself. I have not seen any new pictures of this, but on the live telecast, you can see the rocket did land. Afterwards, Elon announced that there was an unplanned event with this particular booster stage. They've been doing so good. It was bound to happen that they had another event. But they're totally transparent about it, put the information out there, live feeds. This particular one didn't work out very well. You can't see much here. This is the best snag I could get. But check out the whole coverage on the SpaceX channel. Really well done. And Blue Origin back in the news. So we have a real live space race right now between SpaceX and Blue Origin, really duking it out. Not directly at each other, but the fact is they're in a race for who can deliver payloads and recover the rockets and reuse them, save some serious bucks, be economically viable. Blue Origin did it again, but a caveat. You can see their coverage on their channel here. Awesome video, well done. The rocket is super clean because it uses very clean fuel. You don't get a big plume from it, even on takeoff. It's really neat to watch. But you have to note the numbers that they achieved. These are not the numbers that SpaceX is doing by any stretch of the imagination. This was a very low launch, but it was successful. Totally cool. Not downplaying at all. I love where they're headed. I wish they would really step it up and be a little bit more transparent. They're trying. They publicized it as a lot of the live feed and information was available. I'm finding it's not quite like SpaceX. It's not quite as transparent in my opinion, but we'll see. Time will tell. Those things may change. And what else we got? A friend of mine sent me this. Totally cool. Never would have seen it before unless it was sent to me. HP Graphic Arts, the YouTube channel, a new promo video for the new HP Fusion, Jet Fusion technology 3D printer. This is actually a printer, commercial unit, small, relatively small unit that's using powder deposit technology for 3D printing. Multiple color, multiple material. It's all powder based, but different composites, I think. Turnkey solution for the public. This is big. This is the turning point when these start to happen. I don't think our plastic depositing printers will ever hit quite mainstream outside of what we do as hobbyists, but the mainstream is cooking up their own things now. The pricing on this, what I did find was a little crazy, but the technology becoming available, turnkey desktop, very neat, cool stuff. And that is that. That brings us into the rest of the show. Jim said he's loving this new space race. Me too, Jim. Cheers. Good to have you here. I will mention to anyone new to the channel, make sure you hover over the names in the chat and you will find a lot of other YouTubers here that produce videos as well. William is here. Cheers, William. Andre is here. Evening, Andre. The gang is all here. Tony said SpaceX and Blue Origin are wonderful. I couldn't agree more. I love what they're doing. Nothing bad can come of it. It's just amazing. The boundaries they're pushing, the open communication, open video, let us all take part at home, live. Totally neat. Love it. And Scotty said, I bet it costs cubic dollars. I think it was pretty close. I couldn't even find, I didn't spend a lot of time looking for it, but I couldn't find an actual dollar value stamped firm. I should have searched a little harder so I could put it up on screen, but it was a big number what I did find. And what else we got? Zach's got his When How printer dialed in. Awesome. Very, very cool. What else we got? Community support. Love it if you guys would hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button. Share this out on social. It would mean a ton to me. It really helps the channel. Remember, my Patreon is linked below. If you can spare $1, go ahead and throw it in the hat. Every penny goes back into the videos. And on that note, I will cover that right now. So we don't have a huge amount of funding coming in, but every penny goes right back into the channel. Last week, I pulled the trigger on getting the Adobe package for video editing. I've been putting this off for a long time. As you guys know, I've been using Adobe Premiere Elements 11 to edit the videos. It's frustrating, would be an understatement. For an Adobe product, I find it the worst I've ever dealt with. So I did invest in the ongoing. It is a subscription base now. You can't even buy the software outright. So I have the full package, and I've been playing with the Adobe Premiere Pro, and that's what I used to edit last week's video. Long story short, the money that comes in from the ads on these videos and you guys supporting on Patreon always goes right back into the channel for me to bring you better videos. So I hope it's working out that way. And Jim stayed up because he's got the day off tomorrow. I appreciate you being here, Jim. I haven't seen you in forever. Cheers, man. Missed you. And Tom's second stream here. Cheers, Tom. Charles asked, what payload would you put in a satellite? Oof, that is a tough question. If it was me personally, I would definitely shoot for a camera with probably a simple downlink and some basic instrumentation and maybe some controls on board to control. You need it if you had a camera to avoid it from tumbling. So maybe a reaction wheel or two on board and some basic magnetic stabilization. But for that would be the payload, I think. Mainly camera. That would be the cool thing. Send some images down. But maybe if I had room, I'd throw an FM repeater on board, because amateur radio repeater is totally cool when they're in space. Eric, have you been contacted? David said, have you been contacted by LT Studio? Or is that IT Studio? I don't know. To be honest, I get contacted by a bunch of different companies, and a lot of them end in studio. I can't say for sure, David. Could be. I'd have to look. To be honest, a lot of those just go in the junk bin, because a lot of them, I find lately, brutally honest, when I investigated a few of them, such as there was a Maker Box company recently. It was basically like Maker of the Month thing. They send you a box of goodies out every month, and they were all keen, wanted to get involved, and I looked into their product. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I thought the price point was good. This takes me several hours to do. When I emailed them back and said, yes, okay, let's hash out some details, they came back like one of the previous companies and said, oh, well, we'll put you on the list. I just blocked them after that. Enough of that. Anyway, that's side story. Have you seen the company that sends your satellite up for like $2,000? I've seen a few. I haven't seen one that cheap. I saw one in the neighborhood of $10,000. I don't think I ever saw one that I believed was real for $2,000, but I have no doubt they're going to exist very soon. All right. Community announcements. We crossed 15,000 subscribers on our little maker channel on Friday. Absolutely crazy. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Truly appreciate it. You guys are amazing. We have an awesome little group here. Seldom have a problem. We don't have the spammers coming into the chat very often, and when we do, the mods deal with them. You guys are just totally cool, always helping each other out. Great ideas. The brain power of you guys out there just boggles my mind every day. It's so cool. Love watching your stuff and keeping up with you on socials. One other announcement, I added more products to the Amazon store, linked below if you're interested. Maybe it'll give you some ideas. I'm always adding stuff on there because I think using it more as a think tank than a store lately. Just stuff I've used in my projects, and it's a good place for me to share them. And Japan, Scotty said, speaking of space, did you hear Japan is planning a man-made meteor shower? Yes, I did. I couldn't find any reliable info on that, but a few people sent me the stories on that, and it looked kind of neat. As long as the stuff burns up, it's a big publicity stunt. It's very cool. It'd be interesting. And David said, ITED is, sorry, not good with pronunciation tonight. Is okay. You should check it out. That MakerBox thing was weird. Stay well clear. You got approached too. Yeah. They're completely, I sent them a nastygram informing them that they had wasted my time and I will no longer deal with them, because if they do that to me over just initial correspondence, what do they do to their consumers? I have zero faith in a company when they jerk somebody around, and that means I'll never deal with them because I can't show them off to you guys. Awesome stuff. Congrats on the 15K. Thanks, guys. Viewer projects. I always try and show off what you guys are making. In order to do that, you need to post it in the G+ community, which is linked below. You can hit me up on the other socials too. G+ is best. Educates.tv every week shares something totally cool with us. This week it was the Arduino Micro Piano. It was neat using the tone library on the Arduino. Very, very simple. Use the switches to activate the different tones. Back to basics, really cool core skill, because the tones come in really, really handy in a lot of projects. Really neat. Well done. Harry shared with us, just knocked me off my chair. This is crazy. So Harry doesn't post a huge amount, but when he does, it's really cool projects. This particular one, I can't say enough cool about. He made a Pong game, and far as I can tell, Harry basically scratch built this with 2 paddle controls, looks like rotary encoders, all the code, a walk through how he did it on the Nokia 5110 LCD, which is an awesome dirt cheap little device. I love it. And it was totally neat to see this come from the ground up. And I just thought about it for a moment that many, many moons ago, there was probably an entire team that developed the first Pong game, and now people like Harry can recreate it on an Arduino with a dirt cheap LCD and some random components. Very, very cool. Well done. Shared the code with us. You guys can recreate the project. It's all in the G+ community. David, who is here with us in the chat. David's been busy with live streams. You guys got to check them out. I haven't caught them live, David. I'm sorry. I just can't seem to connect when you have them live, but I love watching the replays. David's been heavy into design lately and really cool stuff using the nanos, the Arduino nanos, and some shield work, and a lot of the basics, like watch ground up the process of the design and the layout. Really, really cool stuff. Awesome. So check out David's post in the community. David, thank you for sharing those. Very, very neat. And David said it's IT'd is how it's pronounced. Very cool. The cool display, little research you find incredibly interesting. I can explain it via Skype. Yeah, I'd like that actually, David, if you don't mind, or if you want to just throw a link in the G+ community, I can check it out later tonight. And William said those are potentiometers. I thought they were encoders. Well, either way, that would work too. Shows how much I pay attention when I watch a video. And David tried the Pong game, got way more smarts than me. Impressed that he got it working, very impressed. I was too. That is not easy to do a live game with a counter and both paddles functional and the moving ball. It's definitely not easy. It blew me away. It is not easy at all. And what else we got? Peter built one using TTL a long time ago. Very neat, Peter. From the community, these are videos that I try and handpick each week of things that I can show off to you guys, videos that I find, channels I'm subscribed to, and various other goodies. Cheers, guys. A channel I've never shared before because I just ran across it. Ryan Bates did the Arduino vending machine. I'm really impressed with YouTube lately in finally showing me channels on the main home screen that I might be interested in, and new videos, not stuff 4 years old, which I don't mind either, but this particular one directed me to this cool little vending machine setup, again with a Nokia 5110 LCD, some servos, just neat. Not the most practical thing in the world, but the fact that we can build a miniature functional vending machine out of, well, I have all the components for this with the exception of the buttons, I think, or those particular buttons in my workshop right now. This is stuff that all makers have, and what you don't have, you can 3D print pretty easy. So for other random stuff like gear wheels and stuff like that. So really, really neat. Check out Ryan Bates' channel. OpenROV, a channel I have shared on the channel before, doing an open source underwater robot. This particular video was testing the new Trident prototype in Lake Tahoe. I love what these guys are doing. I really would like to make an underwater vehicle someday. That's probably why I watch these quite as often as I do. The price point of the OpenROV, to buy it from them, I do find a little on the steep side, a little out of the range of most makers, but what they're doing and the information they're sharing and the video they're sharing, it's pretty cool stuff. Love it. And it is an open source project. So William asked, did I see Colin's liquid nitrogen shooter thing? I did. I didn't include Colin's video here today because pretty much shared Colin's channel every week lately. So yeah, Colin for his channel, totally neat stuff. Arctic RC, a channel, I don't know whether I've ever shared them before, but they made a trip to the Ringaboo RC area and got together and had a bit of a party. So if you're into RC planes, these guys are pretty hilarious. They have a pretty good time and have a blast. It's the lighter side of remote control. It's pretty nutty. Definitely worth a view. What else we got? Cayman? Channel I'm not sure if I've ever shared before. 7Demo7. I've been subscribed for a long time. He does some cool things on RC and various other topics. Mostly RC though. This week's video was on finding his Corsair aircraft that was downed and why you need a locator for your drone / plane. If you're into RC stuff, these videos, I'll be honest, this one put me over the tipping point to pull the trigger on a new tracking system. I've had audible locators on my RCs before and they have saved my butt numerous times. I've always wanted to take this next step to something better, something directional tracking, and I often thought about making one. Well, I pulled the trigger on buying one, a commercial unit, and it is here, and you will see a video on the channel. But if you want to check out a video as to why you might want one, check out 7Demo7. And what else we got? Bunch of RC stuff to lead off here tonight. Sam Shepard, a channel I've shared before, young gentleman who really just started kicking off YouTube majorly and got discovered not that long ago, and his channel has grown significantly with good reason. He's doing an awesome job. I think I still support him on Patreon too. Making his own FPV race drone. As in the nature of what Sam does, doesn't want to buy commercial, wants to design and build it himself, and some really neat stuff came out of this video. He does a really good job of showing the background of things, why they worked, why they didn't work. In this case, lots of didn't works. And at the end, you can see the product that he made, which I have no doubt is very, very cool and works quite good. And Andre's building a sea duck. Awesome. What else we got? AVE did a little bit of a departure this week, and I thought it worth sharing again. Arduino versus Evil, you can never know what to expect on his channel, but this week he went back to the electronics side of things and did a little Raspberry Pi media server build video. I wanted to share this because I can vouch this is the most functional thing I have ever used any of my Raspberry Pis for. The one that I have set up for a media center in the living room outside the door behind me, the wife uses it every night. She's been watching Sons of Anarchy for weeks on it, and they just work amazing for media centers. The Raspberry Pi 3 is a rock star for a media center. For a $30 device and a remote control and a power supply, best use I've seen for the Pi. And I love all the other uses too, but when it comes to just day-to-day stuff, pretty cool. So check out AVE's video on how to make one yourself. And just gonna catch up real quick. Andre loves Jeff on 7 Demo 7. Awesome. Me too. And Scotty said, could you use the FPV transmitter for the locator? Yes. I have used my FPV system to locate, well, it's twofold. It's the best locator because I have a DVR running on the ground always. So you can always review the footage of the incident, the crash, from the ground before you even trudge off. And that usually gives you a great idea of where the aircraft is. The problem comes in is when you're in a big field of crops, and it doesn't do you much good there. Better than nothing. The FPV gear I have used as well, and particularly if you use your, this is a silly departure, but here's a tech tip for you guys. If you carry your FPV receiver, i.e. your goggles or your ground station or whatever you've got, and use your body as a shield, you can do directional finding that way, because you can tell if it's behind you when you fully block the signal. That I found pretty helpful, but I wanted something a little better, and I'll show you guys the video. I got these tiny little 2.4 gigahertz units that are good for several hundred meters, and I think we can make them good to a couple of kilometers with a simple parabolic antenna, i.e. an umbrella lined with tinfoil, basically. So spoiler alert, you'll see that on a video upcoming. But yes, you can use your FPV gear as your locator. It's just, it's if it's there, you absolutely do use it. Problem also comes in when your FPV gear gets knocked out during the crash, which actually, in my case, has usually happened. Yeah. Zach Blog said again, mine seemed to mesh. Just installed Kodi for the wife. Oh yeah, very much. She'll love it, Zach. Best use for the Pi. Throw Kodi on there. Not that I'm advocating using streaming on a Pi, but it is a great use for it. The price is awesome. William asked, have I seen Razum's video on the water-cooled cluster? No, I have not. And Wesley asked, have I ever built my own boost converter? I'm working on an LCD project that requires 30 volts for backlight. However, I only have a 12 volt source. I managed to make a semi-functional boost converter. I was curious if you ever tried before. Yes, I have made a very basic boost converter circuit. Tons and tons of information and schematics online. To be honest, I'll never make one again because you can buy them so cheap now, completely ready to go, extremely low noise, extremely accurate. I would never build another one because there's just no need. The voltage is available. I think you can, like, for a couple of bucks, the ones are well into the 50 volt range now. So yeah. And David said, just posted a massive question in the G Plus community. We'll check it out, David. Awesome stuff. What else we got? More Raspberry Pi. Big week in Raspberry Pi. Lots of cool projects. Mr. Hobby Electronics, a channel I'm not sure I've shared here before. Raspberry Pi video adapter. Super basic, but super important. The Raspberry Pi, the Pi Zero, no VGA video RCA out, and this is quite simply how to make the pigtail to bring it out using two male headers and a simple RCA plug. Very, very neat, very handy, adds another layer of functionality to the Pi Zero. Absolutely cool stuff, well done video. Mr. Carlson's Lab, a channel I believe I've shared here before. Cool video on the Tektronix 224 oscilloscope. This is a scope. I wanted one of these for a long time, I'll be honest. It's a very small, portable, battery-powered scope. Basically like your lab scope, your normal benchtop, like I have the Rygold DS1052E, but this is portable and also not tied to mains, which we could spend all night on the fact how this is an isolated floating scope, that you don't have all the nastiness that goes with having a mains plugged in one if you don't know what you're doing or don't have an isolation transformer. Awesome video on this, super cool coverage. Made a simple battery pack for it, showed how he made it in the video. Well done, really cool stuff. There's a reason his channel is just blowing up. It's some cool stuff, really nerdy stuff, and a really neat little scope. And Paul is a great engineer, absolutely, totally agree. Oh, come on. I just gotta wait for my computer to catch up. I figured this was gonna happen. What did we skip over? We skipped over David. David, you snuck into the broadcast twice. As we talked about earlier, David's been doing live streams, and apparently I got him in here before he posted it in G+. Cheers, David. More Raspberry Pi. Alex Eames, awesome channel. Love what he's doing there. Make a full 15.6 inch, in this case, HD screen for just $32 for your Raspberry Pi. The long and the short of this is using a monitor driver board that you can buy from eBay and use salvaged monitors from laptops, which there's plenty of them out there, lots of e-waste, and use this for the display for your Pi. A good high quality, high resolution display for a very reasonable price. So some of these driver boards are in the neighborhood of $30 to $40 to $50 now. And you have a full-on HD awesome monitor. It's pretty cool stuff. So this is a start to finish video on doing just that. And waiting. Connor, I'm not even going to try and pronounce the last name. Connor's channel was new to me. I found this link in one of the communities that I frequent, but Arduino's built-in anti-GPS. I thought this was really cool and worth sharing. Basically, using a single jumper wire out from the Arduino as an antenna to detect the induced radio frequencies. That's not induced. To detect the noise from the power system around the Arduino itself. So basically, it's measuring the frequency of the power grid in the room you're in and tells you where you're not by the frequency, whether it's 50 or 60 hertz. Totally impractical, but very neat that I wanted to look at the code and see how they did this. They must have done like a fast Fourier transform on the data. I'm guessing it was an FFT plot of the data to see whether there's 50 or 60 hertz hum around the Arduino. Pretty neat. Cool little project. Check out Connor's channel. David asked, do you still have that P.O. box? Yep, it's linked from my website. Absolutely. I do have an address that anyone can send me anything linked from the site. And it should be on both sites, the blog and the main site now. I think I corrected that. And Tom said he made a solar charger for his phone. Very, very cool. And William said, can you program an Arduino with a Pi? Yes, you absolutely can. The IDE for Arduino, an older IDE, is still part of the Raspberry and image, and I can vouch it does work. It is an older Arduino IDE, though, or it was as of about a month ago, the last I checked, which was really frustrating, why no one had ported over the new IDE yet, but I guess there's just not that many people using the Arduino with the Pi. I checked it out because my Educase project needs it, and the Pis on board that will be programming Arduino. So yeah, definitely can. And more Pi, lots of Pi. Spark Fun Electronics, nobody can say I don't give them enough love anymore because they had a pretty cool video. This is on the Pi Top, the open source laptop based on the Pi. I love this thing. This is the assembly guide, start to finish, how to put your Pi in it, get everything working with their pre-made kit. It's neat. I wish the price was a little cheaper though. I find this far too steep a price for what it is, but it is totally cool to make your own fully functional, self-contained portable laptop with a Pi. Pretty neat. And what else we got? Hackaday is into doing videos lately. Good on Hackaday. You guys have probably seen their YouTube channel. They often feature the Hackaday events and meetups. Well, now this week they've been putting out some content from the Maker Faire. Really cool. This particular one is the multicolor 3D prints by splicing filament together. If you're into 3D printing, you should check out this video, guys. This is something I've never seen before. Maybe you guys have. Basically, it's a splicer. Just melt joining filament, but it's on demand. And I don't have all the details, but the long and the short is you slice your model as if you had a dual extruder printer, but you only, like my printer with a single extruder can do this. You let this device, as long as it has access to the incoming filament feed, it can splice different colors together on demand and print them just as if it was a dual or a triple extruder system. And in fact, you could probably do even more. It's a really neat idea. I give them a huge amount of credit. So I think it's on the screen you can see at Mosaic Manufacturing. Check it out. It's a cool concept. Something I've never seen before. And that splicer is cool, but $600. Yeah. Obviously, first to market with a viable one, it's definitely going to be a little steep. For $600, you can pretty much buy a dual extruder now, but it is open source. The software, I did check, the software that it uses to act as the middleman is open source according to them. So others can do this now. It's only the hardware, and the hardware is not that complicated by the looks of it. Very, very cool. iForce 2D, another channel I've been subscribed to for a long time. Cool video meshing quadcopters and the NRF 24L01 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi chips. The screenshot doesn't do it justice. If you're into wireless communication at all, or Arduinos or electronics, or even quads for that matter, check out this video. It's a long one. It's 37 minutes where he tests the range of the NRF modules using a quadcopter and a Yagi antenna. I've never seen something so comprehensive before, and he also shows the pitfalls he ran into with the code, which are stunningly easy to run into, and I've run into the exact same error he made with millis, the milli count, and the update for the SD card writing. I've run into that myself as well. It was awesome, well done video. Amazing how far these NRF modules can go. A lot of the talk has been on the ESP8266 Wi-Fi modules for a long time, with good reason. It is a full-on microcontroller. These NRF units that are used in commercial quadcopters quite often, pretty astounding range out of these things for a couple of, well, not even a couple of bucks, under $1. Pretty cool stuff. And Glitch loves this video. GPS tracking beacon, absolutely. And William asked, did you see the $100 3D printer? Was that the Kickstarter Canadian one that recently went bankrupt due to theft? I'm not sure. I've seen lots of ads for $100 3D printers, to be honest. Too many to count. Cheers, guys. All right, what else we got? It's going to bring us pretty close to the end here. From the shop, last week, the video that I got out on Friday was the Arduino lottery machine. I did the Arduino 101 giveaway. Still trying to work out the details with the guy that won. He's having a little trouble on Instagram, but hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a fun little build, and I tried a little bit different with the editing and the style of the video. Just trying new things. I'm always trying to make the videos a little bit better, so let me know what you guys think. It's hopefully it went over well. And a little sneak peek. I've already talked about most of the sneak peeks. So we have the GearBest boat review. The footage is all taken. I did run into some troubles. I ended up having to retrieve that boat with a fishing line, but I think I'll find out tomorrow when I do a deep dive into the batteries whether Eric caused that or not. As well, we have a mailbag coming up on some various project products I got, including the locator beacons for downed RC aircraft. Pretty excited about those because I think I'm going to be able to hack a parabolic antenna, and we'll do some range tests on it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's a couple of the things you can expect to see upcoming. And that pretty much is that this week, guys. I think we're at the end of the show. As the title says, this will be the last live show for the summer. I usually put them on hold in the summer. We're going to have to reinvestigate. I love these shows, but the viewership has waned a little bit, and they simply don't do as well as main videos on the channel. Most often, I think it's hard to catch live shows, and it's hard to watch a half an hour plus to an hour replay. So we'll see. You guys let me know what you think, whether we should pick them up in the fall in the same format or change things up a little bit. It's you guys that run the show. Have a fantastic summer. I will still see you every Friday with a new video, and I'll try and put some out through the week as well. If you're in the northern hemisphere, happy summer. If you're not, if you're in the southern, well, happy winter. But it's summer here, and it's time to get outside and get some things done. Day job's a little bit busy right now, but I'm going to spend a lot of this time learning to do some better video editing, trying out some new things. Hopefully I can bring you guys some awesome content going forward. It won't let up. I'm not taking the summer off by any stretch. We're going to try new things. It's going to be a lot of fun. So have a fantastic week, guys. I will catch up with you on Friday. Cheers.